Tom, get out your violin. Get out your Stradivarius. This one hurt, bro. This one hurt. We're coming in with our second In Memoriam.
Our second already.
The series where we talk about recently canceled series, primarily in Shonen Jump, because that's what I keep up on. In my quest to read everything in Shonen Jump.
I think it'd be worth me picking a magazine to expand into, and then I could do my own magazine follow up.
That would be fun.
You know what? That would be a great thing to research, and we could bring it to the people. Is like, what are the big magazines? Because to be honest, I don't really know outside of Shonen Jump.
I know a few. Yeah, there's like Weekly Shonen Sunday, which infamously releases on Wednesday every week. They want to make you feel like it's Sunday when you read it.
Got it. Okay. No, but I think that's something, we don't want to get too off topic here, but like, I think that's something worth exploring. Other magazines.
I agree. I would definitely be into that. And
explainers, yeah.
In Jump, in Weekly Shonen Jump, which I follow, we had because I'm trying to catch up on everything. Sometimes you're catching up and you're reading stuff week to week, and shit gets canceled. It happens. That's what happened with Ping Pong Peril, and that's what happened with Harukaze Mound. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Tom. I really didn't see this coming.
You just did the State of the Union,
and I did go back and I did check what I said, and I did say to myself, there is a chance these could get canceled and not make it to next year. I did say that.
But you said next year, not next month.
Not next week. Yeah.
Next week.
I was distraught. I finished the halfway through the chapter. I was like, something's not right. I was like, what are we doing? Why are we here? What's going on? This isn't right. And I was like, oh no, is it over? And then of course I checked the dreaded, you close the Shonen Jump app. Typically it'll say new chapter in 7 days. No notification. You flip to the end. Instead of saying to be continued, it says the end. Not a good sight. So anyways, Tom, what was Harukaze Mound? Harukaze Mound is a story. It was created by a duo, Togo Goto on story and Kento Matsuda on art. They previously had a failed series in Shonen Jump called Phantom Seer from a few years ago. Lasted just as long as Harukaze Mound did, 30 chapters. And then Kento Matsuda had another story that also was a failed, went like 20 something chapters, called Tokyo Shinobi Squad, which is about like high speed trains from United States in Russia connecting Japan, and how that like fucks up Japan.
Okay.
And very funny.
Hey, they love their trains over there, you know. Their train sim games, those are popular. Like,
it's quite funny. But yeah, so previously they have not had. They're looking for their winner. They've been looking for their winner. So they came out with Harukaze Mound, a baseball manga, ran from June 15th last year to January 20th of this year. So a little over 6 months. It ran in the magazine. The initial pitch for the story is it's about two twin brothers, fraternal twins, who are both pitchers. They're both baseball pitchers. The younger brother Aokaze and the older brother Nagiharu, who we follow. Aokaze, he's right-handed, your standard pitcher, very, very talented. Nagiharu, not quite there. But they still play baseball. They love baseball, and they both want to go to Kyoshin. If you're a fucking baseball manga with high schoolers in it, there's only one fucking plot you can do, and it's Kyoshin, the Kyoshin baseball tournament. It's everyone. Nine Dragons Ball Parade was this, the previous Shonen Jump baseball manga. A lot of other series. Again, if you're in high school and you're playing baseball, so basically, if you don't know what this is, the Kyoshin is a nationally televised. It is the Japanese high school baseball tournament. It is the most important fucking high school level tournament in Japan. It is extremely fucking serious.
Yeah. They take baseball serious there. They love to for about as long as us.
Tom, you're expected to cry if your team loses. You're expected
if you
to
don't
fucking
cry. It's
cry.
a problem. Okay.
If you don't cry, it's a problem. It is some no joke shit. So they're trying to get to Kyoshin, and initially, again, because they're both pitchers, Aokaze, he's the real talent. Nagiharu, he's a lefty, and they pitch the same way. And he just doesn't really have the same. He just don't got the zest with his throws. He don't got the sauce with his throws. And he ends up coming into meeting, having a chance encounter with Ibuki, who is a sort of short stack catcher. Who basically he kind of sees Nagiharu, sees the potential in him, and basically trains him to throw and pitch the ball a little bit differently. Be like, hey, why are you pitching like a right-hander? You're a fucking lefty. The heart's on the different side of the body, bud. We learn about Ibuki that basically he has extremely high baseball IQ because he had an injury and was out for a few months, and so he used that time to just learn as much as he could about the game. So extremely high baseball IQ. Ibuki ends up getting into a into sort of a relationship with Hina High School, which is a all girls school that recently opened up enrollment to boys, and because of that, have a fresh baseball team that he's basically starting up the ground. So he basically he's like, I want you, Nagiharu, to be on my baseball team. And it's basically in the first chapter, he's like, is he going to get, because basically it's revealed that the coach of the other primary, powerhouse baseball team that his brother is going to play for, he was also going to get recruited to play for it because they're like, hey, it's going to be really good for Aokaze to have his twin brother on the team. He'll play a lot better if we have him. So that's absolutely bring him on.
We just need bodies.
So exactly. So it's not that, he wasn't going to make the team, but he wasn't going to be an important part of the team. But if he joins Hina High, he's actually going to be, their ace, and he's going to be their primary battery. And he decides to make that decision. And that's kind of where the first flaw of the series comes in, Tom. The whole setup of these twin brothers, they barely interact because they go to two completely different schools, and the way Japanese sports work, if you lose once, you're done. If you lose in the tournament, it's over. So unless you're doing a practice game where you have the ability to lose, or it's basketball, a lot of basketball manga, I'm sorry, guys, spoilers. I'm fucking spoiling some basketball manga. Fucking strap in. Spoilers for Kuroko no Basket and Blue Box. Don't worry, you can lose nationals because we have the Winter Cup 2 months later. They pull the same stunt. These two manga pull the same, I'm sorry, or kind of complete separate tangent. Back to baseball. So the brothers kind of barely interact. So there's this setup of them kind of, they're of course, this is the end rivalry of they're going to play together in this final match we'll build up to. Ideally, in the early 200s, right? If this lasted. But no, so of course we get on this, he gets, brought on Hina High, and we meet the rest of the kind of the crackpot team that he assembled. And of course, it's like the other guys of baseball. So it's, the guys who are good, but maybe they don't get along well with others, or they're not a great team player, but they can hit the ball really well, or this guy used to hit the ball really well, but he's in a bit of a mental slump, but we can get him out of it and figure it out. And this is the kind of crew we have. And I got to be honest, here's one of the positives of the series, Tom. I love the art, and I like the boys. I like the team.
It's essential.
I think it's important. If we look at a show like Haikyuu, which is the single most popular Shonen Jump sports series in the last 15 years, what is Haikyuu? Like, Haikyuu is the boys. It's about the boys.
It's all about the boys.
And I felt like
about kissing the boys.
Yeah, and I felt like I felt like Harukaze Mound had a pretty strong set of boys. I think Haikyuu's boys are better in a bunch of different ways, but I think the cast was overall strong, and I think the art was great. The art was very much, it does the more like fantastical sports thing that some sports series like to do. Embers, which was canceled from last year, the soccer series, like to do this, where it likes to sort of use it likes to do visualization to explain, like, this person's the Grim Reaper. This pitcher's the Grim Reaper, so he throws a ball and it's the Grim Reaper swinging his scythe as the ball curves, like the Grim Reaper's curved scythe.
Yeah, trying to make everything a superpower. Of
exactly, it's presented in this really larger than life way, and there's some character designs that are again like more larger than life. But I think, Tom, the problem. There's just too many fucking baseball manga out right now. I mean, just in the Shonen Jump sphere alone, we have Bungo Unreal acting out Days of Diamond, Strikeout Pitch, Oblivion Battery, Aliens Baseball, and Civilization. And that's just what's running currently right now. That's not even your previously finished series or other popular baseball series like One Outs or Big Windup or previous baseball series that have been around or existed 10, 15 years ago. And I just don't think it brought anything unique or special to the table to really make it stand out. It's what I said. It's the same fucking plot that all the baseball manga are. We got to go to Kyoshin. And I think just because of that, it's not like we all know where the story's going. The tournament, they can't really lose in the tournament, otherwise they're done. So like it's a little hard to do. It's a little hard to do stakes, and
that's the inability sports where you can't lose or you're like out. That's one thing I have a problem with. Like a lot of college sports is like, especially college football, like in America. Like you can't lose. Like you just can't lose, or you won't be ranked high enough to make it to the tournament to win the championship. Like it used to be even worse. Where like, do you know anything about college football?
No, please explain.
So the rules have changed in the past decade, but like there was a point where after the end of a season, which is usually 12 games, I'm thinking about how this works and it's so arcane. I'm like, my mind's blown. So in college football, they should do a manga on college football. This will be a great structure to try to overcome. So the college football seasons are like 12 games. And I can't imagine a better time I don't know if how I could even talk about this at other segment. And then at the end, every team is in a conference, and it's usually geographic. Now, that's changed a lot in the past 10 years. There's conferences like the Southeastern Conference. Now, the Southeastern Conference includes teams like Texas and Oklahoma, which aren't in the Southeast. But whatever. But back in the day, it did actually matter. Like there was the Big Ten, which is usually like Midwest, North. There's the PAC, which is Pacific. And all these Pac West, Pac East, all these conferences, and so whoever was the best in their conference would have like a conference championship. So let's say the SEC, the best teams in the Southeastern Conference would fight, and they would win the 13th game. And so everyone would do that. Every conference would have their 13th game. You'd get all these winners, and pretty much there's probably 6 to 10 conferences. And pretty much all of these teams who won their conferences have either no losses or 1 loss. And so who's going to who plays for the championship? There's no clear thing. Well, every week of a college football season, there's a secret cabal of old men that just like decide who's 1 through 25, who's the best top 25 teams. And they just pick
vibes.
And because the top 10 teams are all undefeated, it's like they really split hairs about who is number 1 and who's number 6 and who's number 3, strength of schedule, how margin of victory. And then they just like, and you would just wait. You would wait like it's like an election, but like it's a secret one at the end of the season of who's going to play the championship game. You don't even know. You can't even know. You just wait for this cabal of secret men
to decide
who's number 1 and 2 and who are going to play against each other. And a lot of times it's like even being undefeated isn't good enough because, well, what's your strength of schedule? It's like, well, they can't help that. They don't make the schedule. But so there's been a lot of times where like a team that's like in a more challenging conference that has 1 loss will rank above a team that has undefeated won every game, and that team's undefeated won't make the final game, and there's no playoffs, there's no tournament to like, okay, well, let's just decide. No, it's just like they go straight to the end game. Is this like long enough for its own segment? So it's like this very similarly. That's why I never liked college football. Long story short, I couldn't get as much because it didn't leave room for failure. You could even be perfect and never lose a game and blow out every opponent and still not be good enough to make the secret cabal vote. Survivors. You must leave the island just because we said so.
Yeah, and I pulled up a series I wanted to shout out, because this is a example of a sports series that the setup allows for a lot. Like it gives it just so much more wiggle room, and it's Dogs Red. It's by Satoru Noda, who created the Golden Kamui, which you might be familiar with. That was pretty popular. Yeah. This is it's a hockey manga, but basically what the setup is it's about a figure skater at the Olympic level who basically is going to compete in the Olympics. He basically has a crash out, gets kicked from figure skating, still wants to compete in the Olympics. How is he going to do it on ice? Fucking play hockey.
Well, he's a good that's fun.
But it starts with him as in high school hockey. But that's not the end goal. The end goal is to play hockey at an Olympic level and win in hockey at the Olympics. But we're starting in high school. So, like, yeah, the high school tournament and stuff, yeah, it matters. His school's legacy.
It's not the whole story, though.
Matters, but yeah, it's way more to it where with Harukaze Mound, and then with the previous, this is the other thing I wanted to mention too. My first cancellation, hashtag my first axe was Nine Dragons Ball Parade, the previous weekly Shonen Jump baseball series, which lasted even less time.
Did you like 19 that one
chapters. No, Harukaze Mound was significantly better, which is unfortunate because again, it still got canceled. Nine Dragon. See, what I like about here's the thing about Nine Dragon. Nine Dragon. Was not the right era for the story, because if it was an early 2000s story, because this is the problem with Nine Dragons. Nine Dragons is a very similar setup, except it's basically a catcher who's a brainiac, not really a talented player, but a high IQ baseball player. Catcher ends up kind of meeting with a talented pitcher. Who's high on talent, basically is like, I like you. I want to do a team with you. Fuck this other team we were going to try to play for that it goes to Koshin every year. We're going to do our own team. And the entire manga, essentially, because we only got 19 chapters, like the first 15 chapters, is dedicated to building the squad, which I reading it week to week was fun. Because again, a similar setup. It's the other guys like, let's find the guy who was really good.
Of any sports movie, manga.
Yes, exactly.
It's getting the
it's like, let's get like
characters.
Yeah. So like, for example, like they got like one of the first guys they got was this ace who is like an amazing batter, their third baseman, but he had to stop playing baseball to support his family. So they found a way to kind of help his family out, and so he could play baseball with them. And then there's this other guy who's an amazing shortstop, but he's kind of a self-obsessed guy and nobody really likes him. And they're like, fucking, you don't give a shit. And they build a team again, this team of misfits. Yeah, but the problem is again, there wasn't enough time. Because by the time like we got to the seventh guy, we mysteriously get three more people just rushed, introduced real quick. And then I'm like, they're like, what? And then they do a practice game. They win the practice game, and they're like, yeah, I can't wait to play with this team. And then it ends, and I was like, what the fuck? So I was devastated at the time. Because I didn't know any better. I was 2020. I just started reading this shit.
Naive.
I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't my expectations set. So yeah, now with these in memoriams, with these when we start doing older series, which we'll call that Shonen Jump X Files. Is this one going back in like checking out? No, unfortunately no.
There's better
the story
sports manga to read, I'm sure. Yeah.
the story doesn't go anywhere. There's nothing interesting that. So like an example of like a sports story recently that got canceled, that only lasted like 26, 30 chapters that I would recommend reading still is Green Green Greens. It's about golf and
Tiger Wolf?
I love golf. Tiger Wolf, yeah. And but it's about like what Green Green Greens is about and why it's still worth reading is it's a story about like learning to fall in love with something,
Yes.
learning to become passionate about something is really what it's about. It's just through the lens of golf.
Yeah.
And it's really about like, again, it's about the characters and you can kind of appreciate the 26 chapters. Again, it's not like everything gets wrapped up with a beautiful little bow, but it's 3 volumes that you can read it and you can get something out of the experience. And I would still recommend it where I feel like, unfortunately with Harukaze Mound, it's a story that's incomplete. It just didn't to really do exactly what it needed to
If
do.
you have the Jump app, you probably have some of the greatest sports manga ever you could possibly want right there.
Unfortunately, you don't have Slam Dunk, which I'm like still pissed about. They gotta fucking fix that ASAP.
That's weird. Okay, you
I
have
need
Kuroko no
that.
Basket,
They need
though,
to fix
right?
that.
Yeah.
They got you can read Kuroko no Basket.
Haikyuu and
oh my god, guys, Kuroko no Basket. We'll do arc review of it.
we
one
should
day.
do arc reviews of the. Yeah, I'm more now.
Love it.
Slam
Love
Dunk's on
Kuroko
my.
Basket.
I want to read that too, but I guess you can't. So.
We can go
How
to the
dare
Shadow
you.
Realm.
Don't even insinuate. How dare you?
And but yeah, they got Haikyuu on there too. That you can read. You can read Hikaru no Go.
Prince of Tennis.
You know,
oh, that's a good one. I like her.
Yeah, Prince of Tennis. I'm pretty sure is available on there. Yeah, you got some options for sports, and again for baseball. Right now, if you want to read if you don't want to even read something that's done, if you want to read something that's currently running, again, you got Aliens, Baseball and Civilization, Oblivion Battery, Bungo Unreal, Acting Out, Days of Diamond, Strikeout Pitch.
Jugemu. Okay. Well, anything else?
If you read it, if you were one of the people like me who read Harukaze Mound, let me know what you thought. If you were also a little sad that it got canceled.
And what do you think of the current playoff format of college football? Because they've since introduced playoffs to it.